Hi, I wanted to pop in and talk about our new story for the next couple of weeks. It's called Dear Miss Breed. And yesterday, on Monday, the 27th of April, you should have maybe read it for the first time. So I want to talk a little bit about just some story background. So remember how we talked about um, how World War II, the United States got into World War II because of the bombing of Pearl Harbor. So when Japan bombed us, we entered the war, but we as a nation went on high alert for any possible like Japanese American spies. So the US government um, basically rounded up everyone of Japanese descent and seized their property, closed their businesses, and said, you have to leave your homes and we're going to put you in internment camps, which were basically prisons. So here are just an aerial view of some of the camps we built super quickly to put all of these thousands of Japanese Americans who were Americans. Like, they were born here, their parents were born here, their grandparents were born here. But because we thought that maybe they had some loyalty to their motherland, we were afraid. So we round them up and then move them inland. So it was, looking back, it was a horrible thing we did. We didn't separate families like they did in Europe with the Jews and the concentration camps, but it was definitely not right. So here's a picture of them being loaded up, and once they got there, they could not leave. Like, it was prison. They were armed guards. There were machine guns with towers to kind of keep everyone in. The sentiment at the time was pretty negative toward any Japanese American. So here's, this is awful. So this woman is just pointing like, Japs, keep moving. This is a white man's neighborhood. So like, there was extreme racism toward Japanese Americans at that time. Here are some of the camps, right? So the closest one to us was in Manzanar, which is kind of like by Bakersfield, I think. But the one that the story takes place in is in Poston, Arizona. So there's that little dot there, Poston, Arizona. That's where a lot of families from San Diego ended up going to Poston. So let's see, here are some propaganda that was pretty common back in the day. So please go ahead, please take day off. I mean, they're super, super racist. Keep this horror from your home. Warning, our homes are in danger. So obviously, Jap trap. I mean, that's horrible. Stay on the job until every murdering Jap is wiped out. So people would see that, and then they would see this Japanese American family and think, oh my God, they're enemy number one. So, and the panic, that's what we did. Our story is called Dear Miss Breed. Miss Breed was a librarian in San Diego, and a lot of her people who would go into her library were of Japanese descent. So when they all got moved, they would write to her. So she saved all their letters. And that is kind of what you're going to be reading, some of the letters that she received from these kids that she was friends with, just being the local branch librarian down in San Diego. So that's a little bit of background. We have since, the US government has since apologized to the Japanese people for doing this. When the war was over, we gave them $20 each and a bus ticket to anywhere they wanted to go. A lot of people went back to their homes. So a lot of people went back to San Diego, LA, San Francisco, but no one would hire them. No one would give them housing. So it was really rough for a lot of these Japanese Americans to get accustomed to this new post-World War II world. Anyway, so I hope that's a little bit of context. We'll talk more about the Japanese Americans, and obviously it's still relevant today. We as a nation, are we, do we treat people who are different